Sensex over 1.5%. The Nifty reclaims the 24,200 intraday. Tech and auto stocks lead the market higher. The broader markets underperform marginally in today's session.
Tata Motors expects a pickup across across the CV segments going forward. All the auto stocks end higher in today's trading session.
A big relief for microlenders. The Association of Microlenders defers the implementation of its advisory on limiting industry exposure to 3 lenders per borrower to April 1st, 2025, giving the sector more time to correct its credit exposure. Hello and welcome to Markets Forward, your go-to show where we aim to get you all the key data points with regard to today's session and gear you up for tomorrow's trade as well. I'm Nigel. With me is Hormuz. Well, Hormuz, what a bazooka session we had today.
An absolute cracker, wasn't it, as they say. It's kind of a move that we have not seen for a while, right? After almost, 22nd of November, we've seen this kind of a move. But we've got to, of course, we've covered with the big news and the key developments of the day and, of course, the events to track ahead. But before that, how was the session, right? It's an absolute cracker, as we just mentioned.
Well, that's right, Hormuz. You said we haven't seen a session like this in the last few days. You didn't see me as well for the last few days. So I would like to take some part of that credit, as you've been joking about all through the trading session. But it was a good day's trade. The Nifty ended higher. The Nifty Bank actually came to the party midway through the trading session, because at around 12 noon, we were highlighting that the Nifty Bank actually was underperforming. But then it took off just at around 12 noon or thereabouts. The key reason for today's bounce, I'll just give you 3 reasons before I hand it over back to Hormuz. You had the Nifty weekly expiry that played out. So those call writers, they got stumped on the wrong side. The second factor is participation is a little bit lower than what we normally see, because people are still enjoying the new year. Maybe by next week itself, we'll get a better trend. And FI net short positions, well, they are at multi-month highs. So put those 3 factors together. Top factors why we saw a big bazooka move today. But Hormuz, what else?
You know what I liked about today's session, Nigel, was the fact that over the last few days, we've been making highs, but we are not sustaining at those highs. There's always been a cool off, and then you see some selling pressure coming in at higher levels. That was not the case today. We made a high. We first crossed 23,800. We crossed 24,000, and then we eventually ended up going towards that 24,200 mark as well. 24,226 was the intraday high. So we've closed almost at the highest point of the day, and that will give the bulls a lot of confidence. What will also give the bulls a lot of confidence, though, are the reactions that are coming into the business updates, be it auto sales, be it the BFSI updates. All of them are positive, because we saw the stocks like Eicher, Maruti, Mahindra and Mahindra, all of them ending with gains of anywhere between 5 to 8%. Eicher ending almost 9% higher, 6% move on Maruti. And the banking updates as well. CSB Bank may have cooled off from the highs of the day, but it still was a positive update. PNB also double-digit growth both on the advances and the deposits front. And South Indian Bank also ending with gains of around 3.5%. So positive moves overall, and more importantly, it was not a concentrated rally, right? Just a few stocks, 48 Nifty names ending higher in today's session. But what were some of the other movers on the day today? And Vivek is here on the big wall to take us through all of that. Vivek.
Well, thank you so much for that. You know, what a session. Like you mentioned, the advance decline ratio so strong, very difficult to find laggards in today's trading session. Just a few stood out. But like you mentioned, the auto pack, the banking pack, the NBFC pack, they were the ones that actually took the markets higher. First on the list, it's the auto pack. Yesterday, saw very strong numbers coming from Maruti and M&M. Today, they built onto the gains. Maruti higher by over 5.5%. Along with that, strong updates coming from Eicher, Ashok Leyland, Bajaj Auto. All of them saw significant up move as well. The next stock on the radar was one from the banking pack, top Nifty gainer as well. That's Kotak Mahindra Bank. Kotak Mahindra Bank, you saw 2 upgrades coming in, both from Citi as well as Jefferies, and on the back of that, stock ended higher by almost 2.5%. And the Bajaj Fin twins, Bajaj Finance as well as Bajaj Fin, so both of them doing very well in the session. A positive catalyst was from Citi being the catalyst for today's up move. And lastly, when you're talking about the list of gainers, look at the list of NBFCs. The entire pack moved higher, and very strong up moves is what you saw. Look at Sundaram Finance, up 14% in the session today. Last half hour saw very strong up move and built onto those gains. Sriram, Fin, Chola, M&M, L&T, all of them moving higher. over 3% was the minimum kind of up move today. List of laggards, very few, but Petronet LNG, that particular stock stood out. Worries, there was a PNGRB draft paper that's come out that says that there could be some tariff that could be brought under their control, and the back of that, Citi opened a negative catalyst voice, the stock low by almost 5.5%. Suzlon was one stock that did quite poorly from the broader end of the markets, and KFinTech, one key drag as far as the NSE 500 index was concerned. But overall, a very positive day, advanced decline ratio very strong.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Vivek. Well, let's welcome our guests. We have Sudip Bandopadhyay, Group Chairman at Inditrade Capital, as well as Ruchit Jain, Vice President at Equity Research at Motilal Oswal, who join in. Hi, gentlemen. Thanks a lot for joining in. Ruchit, you go first. What a super start to the year. People are sounding cautious. 2025 may not be that good. At least the first two sessions have been rocking. What's the outlook?
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon, Nigel. Very good afternoon to everyone. Well, a good start for the year, definitely. And a bit it was anticipated because of FIS positioning. We had seen that FIS long-short ratio had reduced to about 13-14% And historically, we have seen that whenever this ratio comes in this range of 10 to 14%, markets form a short-term bottom, because the room for fresh short creation reduces when the ratio comes to around 10 to 15%. So I think it's more of a short covering move. Initially, what we are witnessing today evening, I think figures should indicate that combination of short covering and fresh long formations is there. Now, twice the markets have made a short-term bottom around its 200-day exponential moving average. Recently, also in the month of November, markets made took support around 200-day EMA. And even this time, we have seen support base getting formed around 200 EMA. So I think we are poised for a decent pullback move, not just a smaller one. Initially, I think markets would target around 24,600, 24,800 range, which is the recent swing high of the start of December. So I think a lot of opportunities could be seen in the beaten down names, because there are many index heavyweights which have seen very sharp correction of late. So the risk reward ratio has become favorable over there, which should take the leadership now. So I think 24,600, 24,800 in the near term, we are expecting the markets to test.
Indeed. Sudip, good afternoon. Thank you for staying on. Ruchit just mentioned about some underperforming names or some laggards, and I would like to mention two of them. Kotak Mahindra Bank is one of them, and Bajaj Finance is the other one. Bajaj Finance over a longer period of time has been a big wealth creator, but the last year was not a very good one for the stock. The moves that you see today, is this an anticipation that the worst is behind for a stock like Bajaj Finance, and also for Kotak Bank, considering the double upgrades that it has seen from even Jefferies, JP, and from some other brokerages as well? What's your call there?
Almost, you're absolutely right. I think both these stocks really had underperformed last year. And as far as Bajaj Finance is concerned, of course, there is a research report out today, which talks about a lot of positives and a lot of possibilities. And naturally, Bajaj Finance is a good stock to own at current levels. That's what even we believe. Yes, you may need to be a little patient, but I think it's a good stock to hold. In a falling interest rate scenario, which is what we are expecting 2025 to be, efficient NBFCs gain more than proportionately, and Bajaj Finance is definitely expected to benefit out of that scenario. Of course, the asset quality woes also are to an extent behind Bajaj Finance, and that also should give a boost to their financials. As far as Kotak is concerned, yes, I think again it has kind of disappointed the investors for a long time, and at this stage probably we can look at nibbling into this. I'm not very bullish even now, but a small amount of nibbling in this stock can be done, considering the valuation difference and considering the fact that it is looking attractive at current levels.
Indeed. We'll get to one more pocket of news to you, Sudip, but that was auto. Is just mentioning about the sales numbers as well, and Rima is highlighting how have these automakers fared in the month of December. Rima.
Thanks for that. So let me start with Eicher Motors, where the Royal Enfield sales numbers, at least the wholesale numbers, are much better than what the street was anticipating. And sales were led by a strong jump seen in exports. So the total sales went up by 25%, exports went up by 50%, and even the domestic sales were higher by 18.5%. But that said, the Vahan data seems to suggest that the retail sales outlook is still a bit muted, because December registrations are down 4%. Assure Clearance domestic December sales also ahead of street expectation. Total sales have gone up by 5% and MHCV has been strong, led by trucks. Now, Maruti and M&M are the other two stocks where you are seeing continued buying from yesterday. So yesterday stocks rallied 2 to 3% on strong numbers and there is follow-on buying. So for Maruti, just to recap, the key positives were the recovery in small cars and even exports. Citi has put a target price of 13,500 on Maruti, while Motilal Oswal says that Maruti is their top pick in the auto OEM because it's a play on rural recovery and valuations are attractive. M&M too continues to see buying. For M&M, tractors and passenger vehicles, particularly the SUVs, have done very well. Citi has put a target price of 3,520 and they say another good harvest season could be a positive driver for the stock and tractor volumes could get a fillip. Back to you.
Thanks a lot for that, Rima. Well, Petronet LNG was lower in trade. Citi had put a sell call on the stock. We have Upasana who's joining in to fill us in with more details on that note. Upasana.
Well, certainly. Now, Petronet LNG shares were down nearly about 6% in today's trade, as Citi mentions the critical view by PNGRB on regasification tariff. Now, PNGRB said that company seems to have made profit at the cost of gas consumer and is seeking a framework to bring the regasification activities under its purview. Now, Citi has given a sell rating on this stock with a target price of 310 per share, and it has also opened a 90-day negative catalyst watch on the stock. Now, company has commented on this and it says that the regulating LNG terminals or its tariff does not fall under the purview of PNGRB. Now, the H terminal offers one of the lowest regas charges as compared to other terminals, and regas charges have been fixed as per agreements between Petronet LNG and various other users. It has also said that LNG regas charges constitutes around 5 to 6% of the total delivered gas price to the consumer. Hence, this stock remained in focus today, down nearly about 6%.
Upasana, thanks a lot for that. Almost 6% lower at Petronet LNG. And Sudip, I'll come to you with auto stocks, but Ruchit, a quick chart check on Petronet LNG. After the kind of fall that you've seen today, do you anticipate more downside on the stock, or do you see some scope for bottom fishing here?
Well, Hormaz, today's correction was not only an underperformance, but the correction was also led by higher volume-based selling. And whenever in such kind of markets we see sell-off supported by high volumes, that stocks tend to underperform in short to medium term. So I think one should not be in a hurry to do any kind of bottom fishing over there. A lot of beaten down counters are there within the same sector, where risk to reward ratio could be much more favorable. So I think because of that volume-based selling, I would advise to stay away by doing any kind of bottom fishing. I think 300 to 350, this is a broad range where the stock could see some consolidation in next few weeks.
Sudeep, what about autos now? There have been some very strong sales numbers that have come in from the likes of Maruti, even Eicher Motors for that matter. Four-wheelers, two-wheelers or commercial vehicles or even tractors, where do your preferences lie?
Well, my preference is in M&M. I think this is one stock we have been recommending for a very long time and we continue to remain positive. I think we are not yet seen the full-blown impact of the positive traction in tractors, and we believe that one more good season of harvest will take us there. Of course, there are other segments, including the SUVs, have been doing fabulously well, and that also adds to their muscle. The EVs, which they have showcased and they are planning to launch very soon, also looks very, very attractive. So overall, considering all the aspects and the segments M&M is present in, we like M&M, and we believe there is significant upside from here on as well. Maruti also looks good, but I would be a little careful in Maruti because rural demand pickup, of course, should take Maruti further. But is it real? Is it happening? I'm not sure yet. So I'll be a little cautious in Maruti.
Okay, all right, gentlemen, hold on to that. But the other pocket that was buzzing today was various lenders. mfin has told CNBC TV18 that the cap on lenders per borrower has been deferred to the 1st of April. This has come as a relief to the micro lenders. Abhishek joins us to fill us in with more details on that front. Abhishek, take it away.
Well, Nigel, to begin with, as you mentioned, mfin has deferred the implementation of limiting the number of loans per customer to 3 from the earlier 6 to 7 that they had by 3 months. So the earlier date of implementation was 1st of January 2025, and that's been deferred to 1st of April 2025. Make no mistake, the loans have been misutilized with respect to no productive gains out of those loans. So getting back on the recovery will be a tough one. This is also being done to give time to lenders to manage the stress and delinquencies. mfin had in November 24 introduced a new cap, that is 3 loans per borrower, with a few other guidelines as well. So MFI players said that fourth quarter is generally a strong quarter for growth, hence delay in implementation of the new rule will help them. Back to you.
Abhishek, stay on. Just tell us more on Bajaj Finance. That too saw a big up move today.
Well, Citi has opened a 90-day positive catalyst watch on Bajaj Finance today. So they have a buy recommendation, target price of 8,150 per share. They say that the key, positivity that can work in Bajaj Finance favor is that post credit cost guidance being revised in 2Q to about 2.05% for FY25. They believe that a marginal uptick in 3Q credit cost is seen between 2.2 to 2.25%. That is initiated given the fact that risk actions have been taken by the lender in cutting down the segments as well as pruning the exposure to riskier assets. Despite rising stress and rundown of captive two-wheeler and three-wheeler financing, they expect the AUM growth of Bajaj Finance to be about 27% YOY and 6% quarter-on-quarter in Q3 FY25. So with cost of funds peaking out, they expect that net interest margin of the lender will improve by 3 to 5 basis points in Q3, and management transition update will be critical. They say that their assessment leaning more towards the executive role for Rajiv Jain at Bajaj Finance or Bajaj Group level, and that will also work as a positive catalyst for Bajaj Finance. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Abhishek. Well, Sudip, what do you like from the financials, banking space? What's on your radar? Give us top 2 names.
Well, I think as far as BFSI is concerned, we believe that the private lenders, large private lenders, will continue to do well. And ICICI Bank, in spite of whatever is happening in the recent past, continues to remain our favorite. As I mentioned earlier, interest rates are likely to come down in 2025. And when interest rates comes down, efficient lenders benefit more than proportionately. So amongst the banks, ICICI Bank continues to remain our favorite. As far as the entire BFSI, I already have spoken about LIC in insurance. So I'll talk about the gold loan company Muthoot. I think Muthoot looks good. Gold loan business looks good with the price of gold where it has reached, and the way the gold is positioned for the 2025 also. We believe that gold loan companies will do well, and Muthoot there is uniquely positioned to deliver. So at current level, Muthoot also can be looked at.
Gentlemen, Sudip, Ruchit, thank you so much for sparing time and joining us on this episode of Markets Forward. Looking to have you more often on the platform. That was Ruchit Jain and Sudip Bandopadhyay. It's time for a short break on Markets Forward. Up next, we get to the top corporate voices along with the key market events to watch out for. On the other side, stay tuned.
I'm not needed, right? Welcome back. Well, let's take a look at all the key corporate voices that joined us during the course of the day. The management of Bajaj Auto expects the motorcycle industry to see a 6 to 8% growth in the fourth quarter. They expect the upper end in bikes to do well. The company has seen a gradual improvement in the African market, with LATAM remaining a bright spot for exports. Further, the management says that December sales was in line with expectations.
From Bajaj Auto to Maruti Suzuki, the sales for the month of December were the highest ever in the company's history. The management say that all products fired on all cylinders. Further, the management says that it will remain technology agnostic and the focus will be to maintain the market share.
Well, an Info Edge says that IT hiring is back on track and is growing close to around double digits. Further, the demand for talent at entry level has picked up pace as well. The management says it's very bullish on AI, which is artificial intelligence, and they have been aggressive hiring in AI as well.
From tech, we head to healthcare providers. Jupiter Lifeline has guided for FY25 EBITDA margins to be in the range of 25%. The hospital chain expects revenue to double once 2,000 beds are fully operational over the next few years.
Well, before we wrap up, we need to tell you all the key market events you need to track. For that, Abhishek joins us back on the show. Abhishek.
Well, to begin with, tomorrow RBI will come out with data with respect to deposit growth of the lenders, that is the banking system. Last time it was around 10.7% YOY. You need to watch out for the loan growth that RBI will put out with respect to the data of mid of December 2024. Last time it was around 10.6%. Also, Forex reserve data will come out from RBI. Last time it was around $645 billion. There will be a board meeting tomorrow of Azad Engineering. They will consider option of raising funds over there. In terms of going X bonus, watch out for Scenic Exports 1:5 ratio, Garware Technical Fibers 4:1 ratio, and KPI Energy 1:2 ratio. We also have a stock split. So Inertia Steel, that will go from a face value of ₹10 to ₹1. Back to you.
Okay, all right, Abhishek, thanks a lot for that. But on that note, we'll wrap up on this edition of Markets Forward. We'll be back with more news and updates on the other side. Thanks a lot for watching.
Tata Motors expects a pickup across commercial vehicles in the fourth quarter after it reports a marginal year-on-year dip in sales. Ashok Leyland turns in a strong show, beating estimates on all fronts. Maruti Suzuki says that it is firing on all cylinders with strong growth across segments, posting its highest monthly sales ever.
क्या करना है? When should I start? I am ready. Well, watch out for some key data from RBI that will come out tomorrow. They will give out the deposit growth for the lenders. This was around 10.7% YOY last time around. Also, they'll give out the loan growth data details for mid of December. That was at 10.6% YOY when it came last time around. Forex reserve data will be given out by RBI. Last time it was around $645 billion. There will be a board meeting tomorrow to consider fundraising option for Azad Engineering. Watch watch out for stocks which will go ex bonus tomorrow. So Scenic Exports, it will go in the ratio of 1:5. Garware Technical Fibers in the ratio of 4:1, as well as KPI Energy in the ratio of 1:2. And now stock split will be there. The face value will decline from rupees 10 to rupee 1 for Inertia Steel. Back to you. Thanks. हाँ एक्चुअली उनका मैं सोचा